Hi everyone, I'm Natalia. Welcome to my channel. Happy Sunday for all of you who have Sundays off, and it's today off. I work on Sunday, but I do get Mondays off, which is amazing for me because on Monday it's my favorite day to take off because everybody goes to work and I get to do all of my errands, all of my grocery shopping, and not be in the traffic with a lot of other people. Oh, I just showed you a duck that I was going to show. Anyways, so today I wanted to shoot a fun, easy breezy video to share with you my mass market gems. And if you want to do VR, you're more than welcome. We do know that there are a lot of really, really fantastic decks on the mass market out there. There was a time period being on Terra YouTube where I started to de-appreciate mass market decks. I think because there were so many indie decks coming out on the market. As a result, I think mass market looked less appealing. The production value was not the same or on par of some of the indie decks. So there was a period of time where I just felt like mass market was not measuring up, at least for me. And of course, that is not true. Of course, there are some absolutely phenomenal mass market gems, completely priceless both tarot and oracle decks. In fact, I would even argue that as there's more and more indie decks being popped out, if you will, I would argue that the value is becoming more diluted because it's happening faster. It's lacking in depth. I find at least some indie decks lacking in depth. I feel like sometimes people are creating tarot decks where it doesn't feel like they have a very depthful knowledge of what they're doing, or they're creating images based on how they see things that have nothing to do with the core archetypes. So, things are changing, things are evolving, but there's definitely, without a doubt, mass market gems out there and new gems are coming out. And of course, there are also mass market, I would say, less of a gem, kind of shitty decks out there, because I think a lot of publishers, Random House, Hay House, Schiffer, and other big publishers are recognizing that there's more people getting into tarot. And as a result, I feel that there's more and more publishers that are also popping out mass market decks without really thinking through about production or who they hire to create tarot decks. So it can go either way. Today, I want to share with you my gems. I have not a very big collection, but I do have quite a lot of mass market decks. And I went this morning through my mass market decks and I selected Oracle. I have about 8 Oracle decks, and I have, I think, about 13 mass market tarot decks that I think are gems, that are, in my opinion, are replaceable. In my opinion, they're staples. In my opinion, they are definitely decks that I think pretty much a lot of people should have in their collection if the artwork appeals to them. I just think they're amazing creators. I think they are, I'm looking over, and I would say, except for one tarot deck, except for one tarot deck. Yes, except for one tarot deck, I feel they were all created with a lot of intention. They were all created by people who really know and understand tarot and oracle cards and spirituality. And so we'll be looking at my mass market gems. Again, if you want, feel free to do VR. We'll do like hashtag mass market gems. Easy enough. Okay, so let's get rolling because I'm really excited to share them with you. Okay, the first one that I'm going to show with you, although the deck itself is not mass market because this is indie edition, and this is a first printing of those tarot deck. Nonetheless, we all know that this is a mass market deck. It is easily available on Amazon. Of course, you can get first edition, but guess what? You can get exact the same deck. It's actually in a better color reproduction because when they did first printing, they really fucked up on the coloration, but this is what I love about the first edition with. Mine is also trimmed. This is, without a doubt, is a goddamn staple of, in my opinion, of tarot world. For you, if you're not a Zos reader, then Rider-Waite-Smith might be a goddamn staple in the tarot world. Either this one or Rider-Waite-Smith, even though I don't have the stomach for Rider-Waite-Smith, as you all know, their both are absolute gems. They are some things that is easily accessible, and both were created by people who knew what the heck they were talking about, who really knew and understood tarot. For me, this will always be the one and only. Lately I've been neglecting her because I've been so obsessed with Circle of Doors, which I will do in-depth review of it tomorrow, that now looking at it, it's every time I touch and hold this, it takes me back home. So the first one on my list would be Zo's tarot deck, which is without a doubt is a mass market deck. Then the next one, let's do the tarot and oracle to kind of dance around. One of my favorites, and I would say I have this oracle deck always out, almost always. I would say I have it 80% of the time out. It has become a huge, huge staple of mine. It has become something that I use as a clarifier, something that I use to get more meaning and more significance into the depths of the reading, something that I use to find out a little bit more about what I'm looking at. It's a standalone, great, great reader. And I also trimmed mine because I'm a crazy trimmer. This is Tantric. I always get the name wrong. It is a Tantric Dakini Oracle or Sacred Dakini Oracle. I think it is Tantric Dakini Oracle. You can get it on Amazon. It is a collage oracle deck, but it is also based on a tarot system, but I wouldn't really call it a tarot. It has its own thing going on. It is a great, great oracle deck. It is an absolute gem, and it is a very fucked up gem at that. Look at that. Tits flowing out in outer space. It has an art that when you see it, at first you wonder where the creators on high-end drugs when they were making this. At least that's what I thought when I first got introduced to this oracle deck. And then I realized that nobody was on drugs. And even if they were on drugs, they were so in the depths of their creativity and their genius. Everything that they collaged on has a meaning and significance. Look at this Tower card. I just think it's great. So this is an absolute gem. It is a wonderful, wonderful reader. It is very strange and peculiar sometimes when you look at the images. It can be provocative. It can be evocative. It is spiritual. It is deep. It is quirky. It's almost everything that you want. It makes me want to say it's everything plus a kitchen sink, but it had such intention and it has such clarity. And it's definitely a gem. People who created this really, really thought about what they were making. So this is Tantric Dakini Oracle, an absolute mass market gem. I'm looking at the oracles I selected as my mass market gems. And honestly, apart from one more oracle on here, I could get rid of all of them and keep this one only. This is how much of a gem it is. The next gem in a mass market tarot decks, since I already flashed you this one, this is my latest obsession, as a lot of you know, with this peak. It is the Goddess of Love Tarot by Gabriela Herstig. It's just been released this year, not too long ago, last month, I believe. I etched mine with red Sharpie because some people ask me, how did I do it, or did I get etched edition? No, it's a collage deck. It's a deck that pays homage to Aphrodite, to the goddess of love, to sexuality, sensuality, lustness of life, love, intimacy, relationship. It is, to me, Zosi-oriented type of deck. It reads beautifully. Everybody I turned on to get this deck loves it. Everybody I turned on to get this deck has been surprised by how much they love it, which is exactly what I felt when I got this deck. I was shocked and surprised how much I adored it right out of the box. So this is something that I will definitely recommend to all of you. It's a mass market. It's just so good. The book is so well written. I feel she really thought about what she wanted this deck to convey. I felt there was a very clear intention behind it. It's very clear from reading the books that Gabriela knows tarot, has been a tarot reader for some time, and really understands the structure and understands the archetypal significance, and has her own interesting twist on how she talks about them in a sense of sensuality and sexuality and spirituality. So highly recommend Mass Market Gem, Goddess of Love Tarot. Look at this. I had been doing one card draw with this deck since I got it in my hands, and it has been so spot on, so spot on. The next oracle that is Mass Market Gem that also has not been leaving my side, and I also love, is Magic. Look how well I'm doing today. Usually I forget names. Sometimes I try to remember. I actually pulled some boxes so I can be very due diligence to the creators. This is Magic of You Oracle by Fiona Horn. I etched mine in green Sharpie. It is very Hecate Oracle for me because, well, how can it not be? The only beef I have with this Oracle, and it's such a minor beef, I wish there were more cards. That's all. I just wish there were more cards. I think it has 28 cards or 33 cards. I just like them a little bit more beefier, a little bit more. But this is so moody. It is so beautiful. It really connects you to your oneself. It's an oracle that I pull for when I do readings that are, look at this card, that are of a deeper nature to myself. Especially, it's an oracle I use when I'm going through some personal spiritual growth, tribulations. Maybe there's some blockages that I feel. It's a very internal deck. It's not a deck that I will use as a clarifier. It's not even a deck that I would use as one card draw. It's almost a card I would pull in addition to a reading, not to clarify again, but to add an additional message or additional guidance that I'm not seeing. I love this deck. So this is Magic of You. And you know what? This one is interesting because it took me a while to love it. It sat for a while when I got it. I didn't connect with it right out of the box. It wasn't like Tantric Dakini, which I connected to immediately. This one took a while to connect to. This one wasn't out of the box shooter. So for some of you, if you do have it and you struggle to connect, keep in mind that that happened to me. That was totally my case. Okay, moving on. So now let's move on to, let's do this one because I think this one might surprise some of you. It's a deck that people seldom talk about. When tragedy of this creator happened, when she passed away, we all started talking about it, which one of the things I love and hate about TerraTube is that people suddenly talk about something and then they just forget about it. It's one of those just, I guess, things called being human. So this is Poppy Palin, the Everyday Enchantment Tarot. It is a mass-produced and it is beyond gem, in my opinion. Will this surprise any of you that I have also trimmed mine of the borders and etched it in green? Beautiful beckons. When I got this tarot in my hands, I was taken by surprise how much Poppy was able to ground me in everyday reality, which I know that sometimes as we read tarot, that's actually not what we want, right? Sometimes we want to avoid, not avoid reality as in not being present, but sometimes we want to not think about mundane things, right? There's something very beautiful and mystical and otherworldly about tarot, and we want to sometimes be present in that liminal space, right? Versus this concrete space of reality. And this does the opposite. It actually brings you very, very down to the ground, all the way down to your relationship to this plane of existence. And a lot of times I think that's actually a really good thing. It's not a bad thing, because sometimes especially when we are asking questions that are concrete, mundane, direct, and need a very clear course of action. This is exactly the type of decks that we're going to need. This might not be the best deck for having that gap. This might not be the deck best for deeper spiritual development or spiritual growth, but it's definitely is a deck when we are struggling with mundane realities, with mundane questions. Questions, I don't even want to call them mundane because I feel like I am diluting them because there's nothing wrong with mundane questions, just questions that are operating on this level of reality. This is a great deck, and her book is so beautiful, and she has the ability to write in such unifying collective way, and it's such a deck I think a lot of us may benefit from using right now with everything that's going on in the world and with everything that's going on, especially with the wars, multiple wars that we have going on in the world. It's a deck that is able to make us remember that humanity, the connectivities and connective tissues of the today's world, and how important it is for all of us to be connected and to be in touch with each other, how we're really not all separate but all one. So this would be the everyday enchantment tarot happy feeling. So the color goes in and out when I get like that in front of the camera. So next one is going to be an oracle deck, one of my gems. And this one is, let's do this one. This is the one that, another gem that I could not live without apart from Sacred Dakini. And that's Kim Krantz Archetypes. I think is it Sacred Archetypes or is it just Archetypes Oracle? Kim Krantz has such a refreshing and fresh and almost street art approach. What she has created, I don't think has been even replicated or touch-based. She has such a signature in her art. I have never seen anybody come close. I think the closest probably would be Lumina Tarot would be the closest to Kim Krantz, but definitely not Kim Krantz. Kim has her own spin on things. This is, I think, is such a winner. It's a phenomenal oracle. I got this one a few years ago when I had to go through the knee surgery. I got this one. What more can I say? I also have her what is it, Alchemy Oracle, and I struggled with that one. That one feels a little bit more detached, a little bit more cold to me, not such a clear-cut hitter. I also struggle with the way it's cut into, I think it's hexagram, right? Where it's really difficult to shuffle, really difficult to put back in a box. But this one is a phenomenal gem. Kim, not just with her tarot deck and with her also other oracle deck, she clearly knew what she was doing. She was stepping into something. She got her master's degree, I think, when she made this oracle, or maybe after she got her master's degree. She got her master's degree from Pacifica Graduate Institute. That's where I got my doctorate degree. It's a depth-oriented school. It's a mecca in the United States, in my opinion, for depth psychology. It was beautiful. We had Joseph Campbell donate all of his book library to Pacifica. So we actually have Joseph Campbell libraries there where you go and you look over at Joseph Campbell's books. And I had a chance to go and visit that library and had a chance to look at some of the books off Joseph Campbell's shelf and look at how he was prolific annotator. He liked to annotate in the margins of his books. So Kim Krantz, after going to Pacifica, getting her master's degree in depth psychology, either created it before or after, but clearly got her knowledge base in archetypes and archetypal energies. And my God, what a gem this one is. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. One of my absolute favorite oracle gems of all times, will never, ever leave my side. Next one, let's move on to tarot deck. This one might surprise you. I don't often talk about it, but I can't disregard this one because it is such a gem in self-development, self-growth, psychology space, because I call this a psychologist deck. This is very psychological. I have a pocket edition. I also have the bigger edition. If you're gonna get it, I would go with a bigger edition because you want the book. It's the book is what makes this deck so psychological. But I love this deck because, again, this is such a psychologist in a box. It is very geared towards self-development. It is very geared towards moving past your blocks, moving past your blockages, past resistances. The art is not all of my favorite. It's a little bit too paganish for me. But I can look past the artwork because it is such a gem. And I remember when it came out, everybody was gushing about it. And I wonder how many people still use it. I do think that it's a great, great deck. It is also its own system. It's not exactly based on tarot, especially as the majors. It goes through its own development, which makes it even that much more interesting. So if you want something new and refreshing, Dreams of Gaia, I just by Arabian Filin, just cannot disregard this. This is absolutely gem in my opinion. And when I do use it, boy, does this really hits at home. So highly recommend. Okay, let's go to the Oracle. This one surprised me. So this one I saw Racine Owl Moon 513 talk about it, how much she loved it. Then also I had other people talk about it. This is one of those decks that when it becomes popular, everybody using it. We see it on everybody's social media. We see it everywhere. And I'm one of those people that when I see something being used everywhere, I move in the opposite direction. And eventually I decided to go ahead and still get it. This is Woodland Warden's Oracle deck by Jessica Rooks. And let me tell you guys, for those of you who don't have it or who have it, and no surprises, again, trimmed and edged, and it looks so yummy being trimmed. I highly recommend trimming here. This one really, really surprised me. It surprised me by how the art feels when you hold it in your hands. It surprised me how well it pairs up with so many decks. It loves being paired up with those. It does really well with those. It pairs up virtually with every single deck out there. It is direct, it is clear, it's a wonderful, wonderful clarifier. It will clarify in a gist exactly what you need. It became one of my favorites, and I used it for a long time, almost with every tarot deck, because it was that good. This is definitely a gem. This is one of those gems where we see a creator get signed up with a mass-produced publisher, and they really hit it out of the park. This artwork and the booklet and everything else. So really, really great. Very popular on TerraTube still. If you have it, let me know if you love it as much as I do. If you trim it, let me know. If you're going to trim it, let me know. I highly recommend trimming it. So Woodland Warden's Oracle deck, love. Next one on the list of tarot decks. I'm trying to think which one do I want to go to. Let's go to this one, because this is without a doubt a gem. It's not only a gem, I really think that this is a must in anyone's collection. Even if you feel like this deck is too much, even if you feel like you don't understand the booklet, I promise you there will come a time when you will understand the booklet. I promise you there will come a time when it will become an essential tarot deck in your collection. This is Marie White, Mary L. Tarot. I still have one of the first editions. This is mass market. You can easily get it. Why is this a deck that I think that everybody should have in their collection? Because I have yet to see another tarot deck that holds so many storylines of myths within one guidebook. She tapped into something here. And it took her, Kasia from TerraMap had an interview with her where she talks about it. It took her, I think it's 7 or maybe 9 years, if not longer, if I might be even wrong, but it took her a long time to paint this tarot deck. It is very clear from seeing this text that this is a masterpiece, in my opinion, in its own right. It makes me think of the way Kim Krantz revolutionized artistry of tarot when she did the Wild Unknown tarot. Marie White revolutionized the soulfulness and depths of the tarot when she did Mariel tarot. Because sure, there's soullessness and depths in Rider-Waite-Smith and Zoth, but not to the extent where a myth can take us to. And Marie White with Mariel definitely did it. I know that it can be not an easy deck to read with. This is not a deck that I would ever use for mundane readings. This is a deck for deep searching. This is a deck for diving deep within. This is a deck for I am ready to reshift the narrative. I'm ready to reshift the stories I tell myself about myself. And I'm also ready to see. I'm ready to see my unfoldment of my internal acorn, right? Joseph Campbell and both Campbell and Hillman, James Hillman, talked about acorn, how we're born with this acorn, and then that acorn sprouts into its own individual tree. This deck helps you to sprout into your own individual tree. So this is a gem, hands down gem. And since we're talking about that gem and I touched down on this gem, might as well just talk about it. A deck that came into my collection 3 or 4 times. I have first edition, but this is mass market. You can easily get it. Got it, sold it, got it, sold it, got it again. This one, and I have one more I'll show you that came back to me 3 or 4 times. You gotta love those boomerang decks. When they come back, they really come back. So Kim Krantz, like I said, this is a gem for sure. This is such I don't know how she managed to do something so at that time period when it came out, so damn fresh with the artwork, so new that nobody has seen yet before. I know that this is a deck that everybody had it, and to some point it's almost, I would say, feels a little abused in the sense that sometimes when something becomes so big and so popular, it may lose its oomph, its lux. And yet this is a deck that will definitely stand the trial of its time. It may lose its lux for some period of time, but it always comes back. There's something very witchy about this deck, very otherworldly too, without trying too hard at being otherworldly. The art, her art, I am a huge, huge fan of her art. And even though I don't really read this deck, I have it because, well, at this point, to be honest, I'm afraid to sell it because it's getting harder and harder to find first editions, and I'm a sucker for first editions. So I'm just keeping it, hoping one day I'm just suddenly going to wake up and have a huggable, beautiful dance with this deck. But definitely a gem, without a doubt. Classic, really a phenomenal what you've done here. Okay, moving on to Oracle decks. Kasia, if you're watching this, my friend, I'm taking credit for turning you on to all of the big idols. Lucy Cavendish, every single one of her big-eyed doll Oracle decks is great. I had love-hate affair with big-eyed dolls. I had the entire collection. I got rid of the entire collection and I repurchased the entire collection again. Why such love-hate relationship with this gem staple? Because every time I used it, it made me feel childish and and childish. And I don't like to feel childish. And this is my beef. This is my thing to work on. And this is why I also have the stacks, because they make me look at parts of myself I don't want to look at. But oh my fucking Lord, are these stacks such incredible, incredible hitters. They're such good readers. There's something about them. They're very, very good readers. And Lucy Cavendish, for a mass production type of Oracle deck mummy machine, I think she hits it out of the park. I think it's really, really great. So I would recommend every single one of the big-eyed. If you really on the fence, Less Vampires is the most popular one. That's the one that I also love. A lot of people love and talk about that one, but this is definitely a gem oracle. It is unusual. It is different. It reads really, really well. It opens up different elements within you. I highly recommend this. I highly, highly recommend this. And when I will do an inner child workshop, this will be in the inner child workshop, not because these are big high dolls, but because for me, inner child has less to do with connecting to our child and more to do with connecting to our ability to be free and our freedom. So, and that's exactly what those oracles do. So Lucy Cavendish, all of the big height is definitely a mass market gem for sure. Next one, in terms of, oh, I'm getting close to being done here, guys, so bear with me. Next one that I think is a great mass market is Golden Klimt Tarot. This deck is the only deck I have on here for mass market deck, where I would say, I can't really say that it was intentional in the sense that it doesn't feel like, it doesn't feel that it was created by maybe even creator who is really into tarot. This is just what I pick up on it from it. It's just my guess. It feels like somebody went through all the images of Klimt art and just thought, oh, this could be this could be perfectly fit for this. So it doesn't feel to me, I love this one so much. It doesn't feel to me, excuse me, it doesn't feel to me that it's a deck like Mary Tarot, where she spent years and years painting cards, or Kim Krantz, or Goddess of Love Tarot, or Poppy Palin. This feels like one of the stacks based on the artwork, where art just happens to match some of the archetypes, and so somebody who knew enough of tarot put it together. I could be completely wrong. It's just what it feels like to me. But nonetheless, even like in the depthfulness, it is such a sexy and absolutely beautiful deck. The gold on it adds to it. The artwork is stunning. It is such a moody deck. It is such a, first of all, it's a really good reader. It's very Rider-Waite-Smith based, but it is so beautiful. It's mesmerizing to look at. It's probably one of the most beautiful tarot decks I have in my collection. And it is, in my opinion, an absolute gem. So let me know if any of you have it. This is Golden Klimt Tarot. Oh, now I just want to keep it out here and work with it because it's so gorgeous. It is so, so damn gorgeous. By Oscar B. You can get it on Amazon. All of the things you can get on Amazon. Hence mass market. Okay, moving on to an oracle. Let's talk about Magical Botanical, which came out, I think, this year by Maxine Miller and Christopher Pensack. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Great, great reader, great guidebook. I read reversals with this. This is such a good, I use it, it can be a really good clarifier, but it also a very good standalone for 3-card readings using just this oracle deck. It is punchy, it is to the point, it will not shy away, it will tell you exactly what you need to know, it will not hide behind truths, It almost makes me feel like a tender loving care, like one of those coaches that will give it to you and let you know how it is, and you have to sit there and you have to digest it and you have to really take it in and not hide from it. Love this oracle. I think they've done a phenomenal job on it. Yeah, I did reversals. It is reversals. Did it. It's also a great way to learn about baneful plants. Very, very good. I do wish with this one, just like with Magic of You, that it did have more cards. But it's interesting how lately there has been some of the stacks. The strategy card. I think Magic of You also has strategy. It's interesting. There has been a lot of decks out there lately, mass-produced Oracle decks that just don't have a lot of cards. 33 seems to be the lesser amount. 44 is usually the standard. I like them to be a little bit more meaty. I like them to be a little bit more substantial. But because this is such a rich deck and each card is such a rich standalone card, I think it works with this one just to have 33. Next one on my list, for which I also don't see very often talk about as mass market gem. This is Chris Ann's Muse Tarot. We often see people being obsessively in love with her. Is it Light Strider Tarot, which I don't like art at all. And people love the decks, they love reading with it, and I can see why. But this one, I remember when it came out, some people were upset because all the women feel like they're from Vogue magazine, which, in my opinion, why not? I like looking at the Vogue magazine, model-looking women. Nothing wrong with that. I can understand it might not be aesthetic for some people, but I think that if this is what Chris Ann envisioned, I think why not? This is how she wanted it to be. Every time I got a show, that's me, and it's the card I identify the most in Tarot, Queen of Swords. Look at that, yummy, yummy, yummy. It just occurred to me. I was looking at all of the women decks I have, meaning only women centric decks where there's only women portrayed in the decks. And it just occurred to me that this is all women's decks. There's every single card has either an animal, but has a female identified person on it. It doesn't really have any masculine. Well, I wouldn't say masculine because masculine energy, of course, it has masculine energy. It's very driven deck. It's very active deck. It's very action oriented deck, but it doesn't have any depiction of man in it. Which I just realized recently. I thought, oh, it's interesting how I never saw it that way, but now I do. Love this deck for career readings. Love this deck for inspirations, for creativity, for unblocking myself, for doing any kind of creative projects. Have no problem at all with beautiful model-like faces, Vogue faces, zero problem whatsoever. Sure, I always crave a Cron deck, which I just found. I'll do a review of it tomorrow. But this deck has that young energy. It has very maiden energy, young maiden, that type of Vogue beauty energy, and giving what this deck is intended to do, being a muse. You, in a way, you want that young energy. The muse energy to me is very much in alignment with maiden. It's very creative and it's very exploratory and it's very new and fresh and it's very curious and it's very enthusiastic and it's not afraid. Think about yourself in your early 20s or your mid 20s. What were you like? I remember what I was like. I was not afraid to take chances. I was not afraid to do things. I was very curious. I was very exploratory. So I think this is very, very fitting for what the deck intends to do. So this is Muse Tarot by Chris Ann. In my opinion, it's a staple, it's a gem of mass-produced decks, and I absolutely adore it. Oracle, let's see. So next one on the Oracle, let me move it around here. Thank God I have a big desk. Out of all the Alana Fairchild decks, and I have pretty much all of them, and a lot of them are great. Oh, well, you know what? Sorry, guys, hold on. Let me just show this two together. These two are the best. I'm not going to open and show you cards because this is such familiar Oracle decks. And like I said, I have a lot of her oracle decks, including her latest Sacred Heart Medicine Oracle, which is very flat for me, doesn't do anything for me, sadly. But these two are staples of Alana's oracle decks, in my opinion. They're gems. There's reason why people rave about this one. There's reason why people also rave about this one. Super great for empowerment, super great for getting in touch with your divine feminine, stepping into use that feminine power, stepping into your sovereignty. Super amazing for difficulties, challenges, resistances, tribulations, having those tower moments, being able to allow your stuff to be burned all the way down to ashes so that you can rise like a new phoenix out of it. Both are great. Love artwork in both of them. Love how they read. Very, very, very good. Staple, absolutely gem oracle. When Alana, people all say this, right? When Alana gets it, period. And this is one of those cases when she really, really, really got it. And there's the reason, again, why I love it. I would die for Alana to create Hecate deck and Aphrodite oracle deck. It would be very curious to see if she's able to do it, if that's something she can tap into. And what would that be like? But these are definitely gem staples. Okay, next gem staple, Deviant Moon Tarot. And I have in-depth review of this tarot. This is a gem, ridiculously, crazy, insanely good gem. And Patrick Valenza, who created this is going to be all in order because I recently put it in order. Patrick Valenza, who created this, clearly knew what he was doing. There's so much depthfulness to it. I love the big books that comes with it. It lends a completely different layer to the readings. It reads crazy, crazy well. It reads in its own standalone right. I would not say this is right away Smith or Zos. It is its own interpretation of the cards. Especially if you have a big book, if you read the first paragraph of what Patrick Valenza writes versus interpretation, this is, if you haven't seen my in-depth view of it, go see it. This is a gem. I'm so happy that this is mass-produced and accessible to all. It is such a great, I don't even know if Patrick realized to what extent this is going to affect so many people and so many people's lives with the tarot deck when he created it, because I know that I and so many other people just love it. Even if the artwork is not something you gravitate to, the way this reads it's out of the world. It is such a great tarot deck. Okay, 2 more oracles, and I have 2 more oracles and 3 more tarot decks. Lucy Cavendish again. Alice in Wonderland Oracle. Another semi-big eyed. Same person did the artwork, Jasmine Beckett-Griffiths. This is one of the best clarifiers I have ever seen. And this is a phenomenal one to do reversals too. As you can see, I use it as reversals and upright. Clarifies any reading to a T. Gives the most clear and concise clarity to the reading I'm doing. I love this oracle. I don't always use it because, as you can see, it won't always go with every single tarot that you use. So it's not so easy to use it as a clarifier, whereas Woodland Wardens is something that will go with pretty much virtually anything. But my God, this is such a good clarifier. And she will not hold punches. She will just tell you how it is. She will not beat around the bush. She will just come out and tell you what you need to know. So Alice in Wonderland, Lucy Cavendish, fantastic. I would say that between Alana and Lucy Cavendish, who are both prolific creators, I would say Lucy is probably knocks her out of the park a little bit more than Alana. She really, I would say from what I have from her creations, she's a little bit more, I don't want to say intentional because I think they're both incredibly intentional. But I just think it feels like she knocks out of the park, I think, better than Alana, in my opinion. Okay. Next one is a gem, right up there with Mary L. Tarot. Gem, Margaret Peterson Tarot. This is a new edition that US AGN Miller just put out. I just mine in copper because it's such a great conductor. This is so good to have. It's a classic. It's a classic for a reason. It is poetic, it is spiritual, it is depthful. I feel like Marguerite, when she was painting this, was stepping into something. That's the thing, though, with the decks. Not all decks are created equal. Sometimes I feel that the creators are, maybe they have an intention to tap into something universal and collective, but not everybody can achieve it, right? Not everybody can be a conductor. Not everybody can let their ego get out of the way to really allow them to tap into something universal. And I feel like Margaret Peterson really was able to do that with this deck. So Margaret Peterson, very poetic. The guidebook poetry that she wrote for majors is one of the best guidebook poetry for majors I have ever seen. Mass produced, without a doubt, hands down, a gem deck. Ooh, now I want to see what other people think their gem decks are, because it's so interesting. What's gem to me might not be gem to you. I think this is my last. Yes, this is my last on Oracle gems. And it probably will not surprise any of you. And if you have it, you know it's a gem. I don't even have to tell you it's a gem. It's a gem. Lots of people complain or express concerns about the card stack being shit. I riffle shuffle my decks abusively. When I say abusively, I just go for it. And this I used a lot. It's in amazing shape. Amazing shape. Nothing has chipped up. And I read this with reversals as well. Brian Proud, Fiery Oracle. There's also Brian Proud, Fiery Love Oracle, I think it's called. I have it too. It's no longer in print. So it was mass market one time, but it went out of print. But between the two, there's always my number one. These gangsters, I call them gangsters, because they are gangsters. They don't play by the rules. They don't want to play by the rules. They don't give a shit about our man-made world. They don't give a shit about what I think is right, what I think wrong. These gangsters have their own philosophy, have their own approach, and this is where it becomes so amazing and insightful when you read with it. The guidebook is great. Out of all the Fae decks that I ever seen, Oracle and Tarot, nobody, in my opinion, ever depicts and captures the essence and energy, and especially the aesthetic look of Fae the way Brian Proud does. When I was diagnosed with thyroid issues, I got this card. I was like, what's going on with me? Thyroid. Yeah. Amazing deck. It's a deck. These gangsters are moody. They don't want to come and shoot guns with you whenever you want them. They will show up when they want to show up. Think about gangsters. They come on their terms. They don't play by your rules at all. So this is Brian Fraud, Fiery Oracle, and it's so good. Okay, two more. This one, Mass Market, is just too damn cute not to have. Come on. Nicoletta Cicola, and I trimmed mine. You know what? I also have a feeling with Nicoletta Cicola that this was maybe not fully intended to be tarot deck. Nicoletta done a lot of artwork, and then it was maybe an idea was presented to her, and so it was put together based on artwork that goes together. Oh, I don't know, wait. I don't do reversals with this deck. So it doesn't have that, when I say it doesn't, to me, it doesn't feel like it has that intention, as in, again, Marie White for Mariel Tarot, she clearly knew she was creating a tarot deck. So each card she was intentionally painting. Margaret Peterson, the same thing. Zoster, the same thing. Kim Krantz, all of the decks are shown except this Golden Klimt. This is another one that doesn't feel like each card was painted to represent it. Each card was selected based on artwork that was available, which is not a bad thing. I just don't get the depthfulness out of it that I get with other ones, but this is such a gem, I feel, because it brings such a fresh and whimsical perspective. It brings something very, very new to the readings. It brings a new way of looking at things. It draws you out of how you typically see archetypal images and presents you with something new. I know some people struggle with this type because they feel that the little girl in this deck is there's sexual abuse and physical abuse depicted. I personally don't see it that way. I don't pick up on it that way, but I can see how for some people it might be perceived that way. So, we all have to take care of ourselves. We all have to listen to what feels right to us and go off of that. But this is such an absolute gem, and it is yummy and cute and adorable and all of the things that sometimes you just want in a deck. So this is Nicoletta Ciccone Tarot, absolute gem of the marketplace, mass-produced marketplace. And I have one final tarot deck to share with all of you today before I wrap up and go see my clients for today. This is the Boomerang deck. Just like Kim Krantz, Wild Unknown came into my collection again and again and again and again. This one also came into my collection again and again and again and again. It came about 3 or 4 times. I make the face because I'm annoyed repurchasing this deck. Without a doubt, one of the best guidebooks. Everybody knows it. Everybody gushes about it. And again, would you ever see a deck on my channel here that has borders? Yeah, you will, but chances are I'll probably chop it all off. Tarot of the Vampires by Ian Daniels. This deck lives my collection because vampires is not my thing. It's just not my theme. It doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't interest me. The allegory, nothing. It's not my thing. I know this is a soul deck for Racine from Owl Moon 513. I get it. It goes very well with her overall aesthetic, what she likes aesthetically. For a lot of people, it also goes very well with their aesthetic, or they just really love vampire lore. Not me, sorry. Nope, not me, not at all. But I keep having it because it is such Lilith energy deck. It is very powerful. It has a strong feminine presence, very strong feminine presence. Obviously, the book is phenomenal. And it reads really, really well. And Ian Daniels, without a doubt, knew what he was doing and knew what he was creating. This is even the artwork is absolutely stunning. It's just not my cup of tea. Like I said, vampires is not, doesn't do anything for me, I look at people and anyways, yeah. But I have it because I think it's absolutely a gem in the mass market production of the decks. It's a great deck, especially if you want to understand more of a soul system. I would say it's more sources than Rider-Waite-Smith. It's a great reader. It's powerful. It is sexy. It is everything you want in a deck. For me, almost just minus the vampires. But that's just me. Other than that, this is, I think we all know, because a lot of people talk about it, is that this is without a great deck. So these are my mass market gems, both Oracle and Tarot. Of course, I have more mass market decks, but these are the ones that I would say are absolute gems of the gems. you're going to go to mass market, Amazon, and look for some of them that you don't have, I would highly recommend all of them. I bet a lot of you have most of the stacks. And there's a reason why we all have most of the stacks, because they are so phenomenal. So if you want to do VR, feel free to do it. It's going to be mass market gems. Would love to see it. Feel free to tag me so that I can take a look what's yours, or you can just comment below and let me know what your favorite mass market gems are. And I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. And I'm going to go ahead and get ready for my work. Bye.